At least Ainsley had his bag because mine got left behind at the airport. But thankfully it was a beautiful day. Walking through Oslo, straight from the airport. Good times. We were all in a very, very good mood, buzzed and hyped for the prep and the show. We were welcomed by Marty at Bumble in Oslo, which is an absolutely beautiful salon. Really, really enjoyed prepping in there with the models. They had everything set out for us. Great people to work for. They made us feel very welcome and very at home straight away. They had all the models in the back room waiting for us when we showed up, which was really, really cool. And we did the model casting straight away as soon as we got there. Stuck up all of the mood boards straight up on the pictures. And we looked at the models, assessed, kind of assigned a model to the look that we had going. You know, we had the kind of 80s, 70s punk rock look. We had the 90s grunge, hip hoppy kind of look. And then we just had some really, really cool individual looks as well. We did some restyles, you know, from really long to short, but also we just kept some stuff really super simple and pretty much styled some of the models as well. So we had a good range. As you can see, there's girls, there's boys, there's long, there's short, there's Asian, there's curly. Every single type of texture and length we kind of tried to play around with, which I think is important when you're doing shows and stuff. It's important to show diversity. And with this model here, like, she's an amazing model, as you can see. She had a very, very pretty face. She just didn't go with the assigned theme that we wanted to create in terms of like the punks and stuff. So I felt really bad. I had to send her away, but I said straight away, I was like, look, I'd love to cut your hair and I think you're very pretty, but what I would want to do to your hair isn't going to be suitable, and it's not the best look for you. So I actually sent her away, which was the best decision I could have made, to be honest with you. We were working on this restyle here where she pretty much said to me, like, do what you want. And I said, look, if I'm going to cut your hair from long into something, it's going to be this really super short punky look, probably disconnected mullet. And she was like, yeah, do what you want. And I just didn't expect her to say do what you want, which is the funny thing. I thought she was going to be like, no, I'm not really feeling that. But she was down. She was like, yeah, I've shaved my head before, do whatever you want. And I was like, sweet. Took a deep breath and went for it and cut all her hair off, and she rocked it, man. She completely rocked it. Marty then went on to colour it acid green later in the night. She stayed till like 1 a.m. in the morning that night colouring it. So again, big up to Marty. She was a great help. Of course, me and Ainsley like to have a couple of jokes whilst we're working backstage. I think that's what makes these experiences more fun. Being able to be with a team of people that make you laugh, make you feel comfortable, and also can produce good work at the same time. And that's exactly what we did in Oslo, and what we will continue to do in hair and motion education the more that we do. With Ainsley's model here, he pretty much just cut some bangs into the fringe area and blow dried through the rest of the longer length hair. He already had quite a cool look, quite a distinct look, and the hair itself didn't need to be cut so much through the length and through the shape. So this was one of the easier models that we had to prepare. And then I cut down that kind of long, bowly kind of shape into something a little bit more tailored, but still left very soft around the edges, as you can see. Something very minimal, very 90s inspired. Kind of curtains coming through, just working naturally with the movement. Again, two quite simple, easy models to work through. We then went on to more of a punky look again with this Asian hair, where we really worked with the enhancement of the straightness and the texture that he has, and we worked with lots of spikes, worked with some disconnected shaved panels. I really liked working on this model with Ainsley because he did the bulk of the cutting on it, and then I came over and really just refined everything and kind of added a bit more of an edgy look into the whole finished feel that we had for the model, which is something that Ainsley hasn't had much experience in, kind of like going that extra step in terms of creativity. He kind of played it a little bit too safe. I went over, you know, showed him, let's do this, this and this to enhance the look. and it will really make the whole thing pop. And as soon as I did it, he was just like, damn, like, that's how you do it. That's the experience that I lack at the moment. And it was really great that he acknowledged that and understands that as well, because I've been in his shoes and I've worked around experienced hairdressers and people who do this type of work, and I've seen them, how they turn something that could go from something quite simple and formatted that you might stick safe with to creating more of like a stage look. So day 2 was show day, where we went about 9 AM to the main stage. All our models came in from the night before, and we were doing some run-throughs of how we wanted the whole stage show to look with the choreographer. So this is quite an important part of the day. We need to make sure everyone's on board, everyone understands what they're doing, how they're going to walk on the stage and everything like that. But you know, the organization of Aveda and We Are One and everyone at the show were absolutely excellent, and they really helped us out with all of this sort of stuff. You know, they allowed us to just focus purely on the hair and the looks and the feel and the presentation side of things, and they dealt with everything else behind the scenes, which made our life real easy. But at this moment, you know, I'm starting to get excited. You're starting to see all the looks lined up. You're starting to see how everyone's going to walk out. You can imagine the music pumping in the background, the crowd and the energy coming forward. And it really starts to get you kind of prepared and excited for like what's to come that day. So we had that first thing in the morning. Then we went backstage with all the other teams that were working on the show that day, met all the makeup artists, and really started to prep the hair ready for the show, you know, where this is now where we want everyone to understand what their role is. We're preparing the hair in a way that it's going to be pretty much 90% styled before it goes on stage. Meeting the backstage team, understanding what everyone's roles are. It's kind of a bit of a crazy time this time. You have like a lot of people like running around, you know, running past you, bumping past you, offering you drinks, offering you food, giving you lots of different bits of information, asking you questions, and there's not much space. But also the energy at this time is super high, you know, all of the looks coming together. It's a really nice thing to be a part of, and a nice part of the build-up of the actual final show. You know, as you start to see all these different creatives come together with the outfits, the makeup artists, the hair, the backstage team, it's real cool, you know. It's definitely one of my favorite parts of the whole process, this start. As you can see, all the looks from the night before have been colored and put together now, and everything's really starting to be prepared. I'm about 30 minutes out from the show. Everyone's getting changed. All the makeup's been finished. I'm getting mic'd up. Again, my heart starts to beat a little bit faster at this point. You know, my love for what I do comes in, and you start to feel that little bit of nervous and that rush coming through. Again, it's the calm before the storm, and I really love this part. I really love to be in the moment, very present at this moment. The walk to the backstage is always a little bit nerve-wracking, I guess. Doesn't matter how many times you've been on stage, it always makes you feel like you're about to do something great. I always try and keep my mind quite blank at this time. I don't think about what I want to say too much. I just let it naturally come out, which is beautiful. It's nice to relive this, to be honest with you. I'm quite fortunate that I get to relive a lot of these moments through video. Some of the stuff that I did earlier in my career, I didn't get to do so much. So it's just in here. But all the stuff I get to do now is documented a lot. So it's nice to rewatch it. But thank you, Oslo. Thank you, Aveda. Thank you, We Are One. Thank you, my team at Hair Emotion. That's a wrap.
jumbo jet.